Hello, this is Tech Happy Life with Dr. Mike Brooks. Thanks for joining me today. So today we're going to be covering the last level of the Tech Happy Life model, which is the red light level. As you recall, there are 4 levels of the Tech Happy Life model. On the bottom we have the foundation, which is building the relationship, the most important part of the model. Then we have green light level, you go up 1, and that's preventing problems from emerging to begin with. The yellow light level is what to do when problems start to emerge. And today we're covering the red light level, which is intervene in a stronger fashion when more serious problems arise. So we're at the red light level. What does this look like? Now, this is where stuff's hitting the proverbial fan. Hopefully we don't get here, and the idea behind the whole Tech Happy Life model is if you work the other levels of the model, you're less likely to get at the red level. But if you do get at the red level, it can look like this. It could be chronic sleep deprivation. It could be failing grades. It could be negative mood when they're not on the screen. It could be that they have few to no recreational activities beyond the screen. Another really big one is limited in-person interaction. So all their interaction is through the screen, and it might be through Snapchat or Xbox Live, but the bottom line is they're not engaging in person. And then another one is risk taking, and I can't emphasize this enough. This could be exchanging nude pictures. It could be texting while driving, which could be just one mistake and that could be it. So we say that's at the red light level. Where do you start? Well, first thing is to be in a calm state. It's not going to help your child or teen if you're flipping your lid, so get it together first. Another is, if you have a partner, you want to get on the same page with your partner. As the saying goes, a house divided cannot stand. So if you're bickering with your partner over what consequences to apply or whether any consequences should be applied, you need to get that straightened out first before approaching your child or teen. This is really important one too, is pick a good time to talk about it. You don't want to call out your teen in the middle of their friends and embarrass them or shame them or anything like that. I mean, you shouldn't shame your kids at all, but you don't want to embarrass them in front of their friends. So you pick a good time to talk about it. Now, what about the consequences? Well, you should apply consequences that were agreed upon beforehand. Whatever consequences you deliver, they should not come out of left field. You should have already talked to your child or teen about, if you do this, if you cross this line, then this would be the result. Now, there are different types of consequences. There are natural consequences, and another version is logical consequences. So natural consequences are, as the name implies, things that naturally occur from the behavior. For instance, if your teen stayed up all night playing Fortnite and then they have a test the next day, they probably won't do as well on that test. That's a natural consequence of staying up all night, and sometimes we need to step out of the way and let those natural consequences occur. A logical consequence is one where the punishment basically fits the crime. For instance, if your teen stayed up late playing Fortnite or stayed up all night, then your teen might lose access to Fortnite for a period of time thereafter. See, that makes sense. It's connected. If your child or teen has lost screen access for some level of misuse, it's very important to talk to them about how they can earn it back. Don't just leave them in a dark hole and give them the impression that they've lost the screen indefinitely or their gaming console. Talk to them about what your expectations are and how they can earn that screen time back. So this might look like limiting his or her Wi-Fi access. It could be removing a gaming system altogether for a period of time. It could be if your child or teen was misusing their smartphone and that was the culprit. It could be that they only have access to a flip phone or kind of an old cell phone for a time being. It could be that they lose access to all non-essential screen time. So basically recreational screen time is knocked out. Of course, with school these days, so much is done on the computer, so they only have that access. Now, we talked about this at the yellow light level, but we don't give it up. It's collaboratively problem solving. So at this point, stuff's hitting the fan, things are out of control. but we want to empower our kids and engage them in a conversation to work together to solve the problem of screen time. Because if it's all top down, then there's a power differential. And how are they going to learn how to self-regulate and manage their lives effectively if we're telling them this is the way it is? And that doesn't mean they get just what they want, but we're listening to them, we're engaging, we're trying to work together to get this problem resolved. We've talked about how we have certain needs as human beings, like for connection with other people, for autonomy, for competence. And what can happen is our children, our teens, can start meeting all of their psychological needs through the screen. For instance, if your teens on social media and they're using Snapchat a lot, well, they're connecting with others, they're posting things, they're getting feedback, they're having interaction. If we stop that cold turkey, what happens is our children aren't going to be able to meet their psychological needs. There's a vacuum there. And it can be very difficult because a lot of times children and teens are using the screen to keep at bay negative thoughts and feelings about themselves, the world, and the future. Video games and Snapchat and all this type of interaction, it is so cognitively demanding and preoccupying that it can keep negative thoughts and feelings at bay. So in a way, we could pull out the rug from our teens and kids if we're not careful. So what we need to have are some replacement activities ready to go so we don't leave them in the lurch. So it could be the case that these problems are so deep and so severe that you need to seek professional help. So it's important to look for family counseling, and it might be even individual counseling for your child or teen to help sort through these problems and to help develop the tools that they need to work through these deeper issues. So that was the fourth level of the Tech Happy Life model, the red light level. There are the 4 levels of the model, and the emphasis again is on the lower levels of the model, building the relationship, preventative strategies. So hopefully we don't have as many red light level issues to deal with to begin with. Now, the overall goal of this model and intervening around the challenges of technology is to help our kids ultimately self-regulate so that they're able to develop the skills and strategies to meet their psychological needs in an effective way so they can grow to be happy, healthy, productive adults. And that starts now, and our way to influence our kids is through the relationship. Never forget that. That's the most important part of this model. My book, written with good friend and co-author Dr. John Lasser, is out right now. It's called Tech Generation: Raising Balanced Kids in a Hyper-Connected World. It's available at my website, techhappylife.com, or of course Amazon. In that book, we cover the Tech Happy Life model and many other topics, so I hope you check it out. And I hope you join me for future episodes where we cover many other interesting, engaging, and challenging topics. I'll see you then. This has been Tech Happy Life with Dr. Mike Brooks.